Hi y'all! Today I'm gonna show you how to knit this beautiful drop shoulder vest. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, please check my description box for all the details. I pretty much include everything such as pattern. If you want to get the printable pattern, you have to go to my Buy Me Coffee page so you can download my written pattern for free. Okay? The link is in my description box. So, as I told you, I'm going to show you how to knit this beautiful saddleback drop shoulder vest. That's the shoulder increasing line. This is top-down sweater. So start with the neck rib, okay? After the neck rib, I'm going to actually add German short row, go back and forth to raise the back piece up a little bit. Okay, and while I'm doing German short row, whenever you pass the shoulder line, you have to do increasing. Until when? Well, it's up to you. Okay, drop shoulder, so definitely you have to pass the shoulder line. Well, it's up to you, but I did anyway. So, drop that much. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you increase enough, you just knit straight down. That's about it. And add body rib. Pretty much it. And then I add sleeve ribbon. You can add, longer sleeve, but it's vest. So that's all. Okay? Anyway, all the gauge and stitch calculation will be explained at the end of this video. First, watch the knitting process and understand it, then make a plan. That works best for you, okay? But here and there, I have to explain why, I got that number, stuff like that. But let's move on. First of all, cast on. I made 120 plus 1. So 121. You don't have to, do plus 1. Okay? It's really up to you, but or multiple of 4 plus 1. Okay? And I'm going to actually lose one stitch when I connect both ends. That's why I said, it's up to you. So total of 120. That's how many I need. Okay, so I said, 120 stitches after the connection. So pick up one stitch from left needle like that, and the one behind, pass that over. Then connection has done. There we go. Okay. And I put the begin marker, then start repeating, knit 1 and purl 1. Okay? You just have to be very careful on the first row because from the second row, you just knit over knit stitch and purl over purl stitch. And add in the 1 by 1 ribbon until your desired length. I believe I knitted it about little less than 2 inch, something like that. There we go. So, whenever you finish ribbon, you have to knit 1 round, no more ribbon, okay? And add in 2 markers, okay? Where the begin marker is, that's gotta be the center of back piece, and you split in half like that, okay? First of all, I want you to split in half back and front. First of all, that's the beginning marker is, right? So count evenly each side, both side, I should say. Okay? And put 2 markers like that. And split in half. One with the beginning marker would be that side, that's the back, and the other side would be front. And I am going to add German show row. Okay, just count each side and split in half. Okay. Okay, let me talk about the German show row plan. First of all, whole stitch divided by 6. For me, 120 divided by 6 is 20. 20 is in between 2 red markers. That's my front stitches. You know what I'm saying? So you have to count backwards and pick up that front stitches, okay, which is whole stitch divided by 6. So let me tell you this, okay? So this is my t-shirt. As you can see, back part is much higher than front. Why? Because the way your body is, then it's easy to wear the t-shirt. But how are you gonna raise the back piece like that? So German short row kicks in. You just have to knit back and forth little by little like that towards to the front. You know what I'm saying? Just go back and forth until that red front 20 stitches. Anyway, so just go back and forth slowly. So the center of the back piece is highest part. And on the side, it's kind of slow carve, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to actually talk about that a little bit more later on. Anyway, the key is use the different color of markers, you know, the front part and side markers, because you're going to get, confused later on. Okay, the shoulder line you have to increase, and, where to stop, for the German short row, and others, more markers coming. So try to use the different color, okay? That'll be easier. Anyway, target height for me is 5 inches, which is 30 rows. So target stitch count divided by target rows, which is 100 divided by 30 is 3.333. So my German short row number is 3 stitches. But listen carefully. I'm going to talk about this later because I didn't like the result, okay? But I'm going to do anyway. So my German short row number is 3. So 3 stitches the key number, okay? So I'm going to start, doing German short row, and I will show you how, okay? So knit 3, okay? 3 is my key number. And I regret it a little bit, but I'll do anyway. So knit 3 and turn. That was number 1, row number 1. And row number 2, wrong side. Keep the working yarn front. YF means yarn front. Slip 1 stitch purlwise. And I am going to make 2 stitch out of 1 by tagging the yarn. Can you see 2 stitches? This is German short row fake double stitch. And after you tug the yarn like that, add markers. Again, different color. Okay, now you're on wrong side, right? So keep the working yarn tugging and then come out, then purl. Okay, until the begin marker. And past the begin marker, and my target number is 3. So 1, Well, I should say key number 3. Then turn. And every time you turn, you create double stitch. So keep the working yarn front. Slip 1 purlwise and 1 stitch and create double stitch by tugging the yarn towards the back. See, now 2 stitches. German short row, fake double stitch. Okay, so now I'm on the right side, so put the marker and knit inside, so keep the working yarn front, back, then knit until begin marker. Now, knit until the marker. Marker means after the marker, behind the marker, there's the fake double stitch, right? That's the fake double stitch. So, knit those 2 fake stitch. I call it German short row knit 2 together. Okay? It's not real knit 2 together. And JSR key number is 3, so I just did knit 3 and turn. Keep the working yarn front, slip 1 purlwise, and tugging the working yarn towards the back to create fake double stitch and place the marker. Place the marker. You don't have to if you don't need to, but if you're a beginner, you better do it. And then purl back to begin marker. Because it's easy for you to distinguish which is the fake double stitch. Okay, so now purl to the blue marker. So behind the blue marker, there's the fake double stitch, right? There you go. Now you're on wrong side, so German short row, purl 2 together. Okay, and then purl 3. This is the key number, right? So purl 3. Then turn. Keep the working yarn front and slide 1 stitch purlwise. Create the double stitch by tugging the working yarn behind. Add marker. You just repeat, row number 3 and row number 4. Okay, whichever your side, knitting or purl, that's easy, right? And whenever you hit the German short row marker, remove it and then JSR knit 2 together or purl 2 together. And after you did the knit 2 together or purl 2 together, keep going. Another key number. Anyway, I put the blue marker there, which means you're on right side. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard to see. So there you go. So past the begin marker. Now you just knit until the fake double stitch, which is now you see the marker, and now German short row knit 2 together. Then don't stop, don't turn. You have to knit 3 because my key number is 3. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you turn, slip 1 purlwise and create the 2 double stitch like that. Keep doing German short row 3 and 4. Okay? Back and forth, back and forth. And you understand, you need a little bit more each time. Right? Towards to the front. Back and forth. So the pink one is the begin marker. To the right, to the left, little by little. Okay? And whenever you hit the shoulder marker, you have to do increasing. So I have to talk about it. Okay? Anyway, so here is row number 4. So purl until the marker. Okay? Marker means German short row marker. There we go. Coming. And then remove the marker. Right behind the marker, there's the double fake stitch. So here, German short row purl together. Okay? So now you understand, right? You should put the marker so easy for you to see which one is the fake double stitch. Also, if you change the color, much easier, what did I just pass? Oh, maybe begin marker. Oh, this is the, increasing marker, right? If you use the same color, same type of the, marker, you sometimes miss it. Anyway, now approaching shoulder line. Look at this. Lots of fabric behind my back. But I regret it. It was actually a little bit too much. 5 inches. Okay, and I'll talk about it later. Why? Anyway, so when I reach the shoulder line, I have to increase. But I'm doing German short row. So what am I supposed to do? Easy. Rule number 1. Okay? Do not count 2 stitches before and after the marker. Those 4 stitches total are for the increasing part. So after the German short row double stitch, okay, those 2, I have to actually do the knit 2 together, right? And there's only 3 stitch left. But 2 stitch you can't count. You know what I'm saying? So after the double knit 2 together, I only have 1. And then 2 right after the shoulder marker, you can't count. That's for increasing. So 1 and pass those 2, and 2, 3. Then turn. You know what I'm saying? And back side, you don't have to worry about it too much. Okay? Just do whatever. And you have to increase on wrong side as well. Okay? And same rule. 2 stitch before and after, that's only for increasing. But you don't really have to worry about it too much. Okay? So let's do this together. Okay? So don't worry about it. So increasing. Right? So first of all, I see the orange marker and yellow. Yellow is the shoulder line marker, clip-on marker, right? And orange is German short row double stitch. So anyway, 2 stitch before and after the shoulder line do not count for German short row. That's the big rule. And from there behind, don't worry about it too much. And you will know why I said don't worry. But 2 stitch before and after for the shoulder line increasing marker, that's for the increasing. Okay, so let's do that together. So knit until orange marker. and remove the orange marker, which means there is double fake stitch, right? German short row. So remove it, and then German short row, knit 2 together. Okay? And then key number is 3, but I only can count 1 stitch there because 2 stitches before the shoulder you can't count. So remember 1, right? So knit 1, and in between those 2, I'm gonna actually increase, make 1 left on right side. Don't ask me why. Okay, so the running thread shifting towards to left, and always knit the 1 thread connecting to next stitch. So the back loop I have to knit, put the needle straight in and knit. This is increasing, and knit last stitch before the marker. Okay, there you go, and pass the marker and knit 1, and in between those 2 stitch I have to increase. So picking up the running thread, and this time make 1 right. So hook on to left needle and make sure running thread towards to shifting towards to right. That's right. And the front loop now is connecting next stitch. So knit front loop, and the the stitch is the second stitch. Now German short row, key number 2 and 3. Then turn. Did you get it? Okay, now let's do the double stitch. Slide, tug, okay. Add the marker and making purl, right? However, 2 stitch before the marker, you have to do increasing. So 1 and 2, then stop. Well, you don't have to count, right? Anyway, so you have to increase in between those 2 stitch. So purl, and this is a little bit tight, okay, because I increase on right side, now left side, okay? So picking up the running thread, there you go. And this time, make 1 right purl, right shift, and purl. So front loop, put the needle straight in because this time purl. Okay, make 1 right purl and purl, obviously. So slide the marker and purl 1, then make 1 purl. Left. Okay, so the back loop is connecting to next stitch. So you have to knit back loop, but this time from back end. It's a little bit tough, but it's not that difficult. Okay, and then just purl, keep purling until the other side of the JSR marker, which is blue, right? So I'll meet you there. So keep knitting until, German short row double stitch. And I just want to mention one thing, about the, fake double stitch. It's actually 1 stitch, right? But you can see double stitch. That's why I said fake double. Also, if you think this is, these are the individual 2 stitch and you need 2 stitch there, you ruin the project. Okay? So you gotta be very careful. So if you're a beginner, I recommend you to use that, marker. Anyway, so German short row purl two together. Now, key stitch count is 3, right? But those two can't count. So 1, right? And stop right there, 1, right? So now increasing. Make 1, right, purl, because you're on wrong side. So right there. And purl, slide the marker, and the other side I already did once, so easy. Make 1, left. There you go. And back loop from back. Okay? You can't do that, so back loop from back. There you go. This is make 1, left purl. And next stitch is the second stitch for increasing, right? So this is German short row second and third. Then turn. You know what I'm saying? So 1 slide, there you go, and create the fake double stitch, and then knit until 2 stitch before the marker, right? There you go. And now I have to increase again, pull, okay, make 1 left on knitting side, right? Then knit, there you go, and knit 1. And next, using the running thread, so pull, then, by the way, there's 2, but when you pull, the next stitch is moving. So that's the running thread you have to actually use, and make 1 right. Then knit all the way down. So every time you pass that line, you have to increase. Pass that line means shoulder line, okay? And after that, you don't really have to worry about the, combine for JSR and increasing, really, okay? So don't worry about it too much. And the last German short row double stitch for both side, okay? So the red marker is my, the target line, right? In between two red markers, I'm not going to do JSR, but you don't really have to be exact. You know what I'm saying? If it's close enough, you can stop it. Anyway, so remove, and I have to do the German short row knit two together there, and 1, 2, 3, and 1 stitch left, but that's okay. It's done for me. And this is last creation of the double stitch this side. Okay, remember there's the other side as well. Okay, there we go. So I remove the 1 red marker, and you gotta go all the way and you create the last double stitch the other side, which is right here. Okay, there you go. Purl 2 together, and 1, 2, 3, and turn around. This is the last double stitch to create for this side. There you go. And I have to tell you one thing important. Okay? So German short row is done. Okay? Which means we will knit in round. No more knitting in flat, which means you must knit on right side. And which means, what are you going to do with this double stitch? You're supposed to come in back on wrong side, right? But no more. So that's okay, don't worry. That double stitch, you just do the knit two together instead of the purl two together. However, you gotta be careful. Remember, remove the marker and then knit two together, right? But this time, before the marker, this side, after the marker, fine, knit two together, right? But after that, you just keep knitting. So this time, before that blue marker, okay, there is double stitch. That's the only thing you have to remember. And if you don't like it, you move that, red marker just before and make sure you have to, knit it together after the red marker. In between, whatever. Just put some indication, okay? So the last double stitch, one side, regular, knit two together. The other side, you have to do knit two together instead of purl two together. That's all. That's all you have to remember, okay? Then, after you did the both knit two together, okay? That's it. That's the end of German short row. Right here, this is the regular knit two together side. There you go. No more, turning, right? So keep knitting. I hope you understand what I'm saying, okay? Because, the increasing, shoulder increasing hasn't done yet. So I'm going to actually keep knitting in round and increasing, right? And once I finish increasing, I'm going to actually start knitting separately, front and back. Okay? Anyway, so the red marker is coming up, remove it, and here. This supposed to be, purl two together on the other side, but, I'm not gonna turn around, so knit two together instead of purl two together, and remove the blue marker as well. And just keep knitting until the begin marker. That's it. And let me tell you one thing about this German short row, particularly my plan. I told you earlier I regret it about one thing, which is I had a plan to raise about 5 inches, at the, right behind my back. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to raise the back neckline significantly. So 5 to 6 inches. Yeah, 5 inches as I planned. I was so happy, but because of this 5 inches height, the German short row key stitches 3, which means I go back and forth so many times. Can you see the fabric is bundled up? Too much. This one, not too much, because only 2 to 3 inches raise. You know what I'm saying? Because of too much fabric, behind. Again, too much fabric. So can you see bundle up a little bit? the behind. So, I'm gonna actually recommend you, if you wanna add the German short row, 3 inches the maximum. Maybe 2 would be better. Okay? So that's all. Anyway, since this is the drop shoulder, continue increasing until the fabric extends past your shoulder, own shoulder. It's up to you, but kind of halfway of the sleeves at least. Okay? And now I knitted it enough. Okay, I think that's plenty increasing. There you go. That's about 6 inches. Okay, and enough. And here, one thing I have to actually make sure, okay, the total stitch count should be enough for your body. Okay? And one more chance that you can actually increase, which is connection, but I'll talk about it. But again, you better have enough stitch count for your body, the total stitch count. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, after this, I am going to knit, separately, back and front, right? And whenever you need, enough length for what? For your arm, opening, then I will rejoin. You know what I'm saying? So you have to actually knit separately and count how many rows. Then the other side, you have to knit exact same row count. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I transfer all the stitches onto my tube. You can use your scrap yarn, obviously, or you don't have to if you have a longer cable, but it's gonna be really hard to knit. So I transfer all the back stitch count, stitches onto tube. This tube saved my days, knitting days, because it's so easier to transfer. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so easy, no more increasing, just knit back and forth. Right side knitting, wrong side purl. That's all. Okay? And again, making sure to knit the same number of the rows for each front and back. And I knitted it about just under your bust. But if you want to get the bigger arm opening, sure, you better knit lots. And I'm actually changing the color of the yarn because this is kind of the leftover yarn project for me. So I wasn't quite sure the blue yarn I whether I had enough or not. So I changed it anyway, and every 20 rows I changed the color. But it's up to you. You can use one color or two colors, three colors. Anyway, there you go. I knitted it both, back and front, same row count, 20, 20. So 40 rows that I knit. And I think, I had enough, opening, size wise. Okay. So I'm gonna rejoin. Okay. Once you rejoin front and back, that's the creation of the arm opening. And again, I told you earlier, you have one more chance to increase the stitch count, which is right here. Okay, so I have to transfer all the stitches onto one needle. Okay, and then let's rejoin. Seriously, this is a beginner friendly project. You know, the increasing is only for the shoulder line. That's it. And if you don't even want to bother with the German short row, you don't have to, right? It's gonna be boat neck, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Anyway, so I changed the color and knit all the way. There we go. And I'm not turning anymore because I want to connect. So I add new cast. This is going to be the under your armpit. So about 2 inches, worth, but it's up to you. If you want to add more, fine. If you don't want to add any more, fine. Okay, but I add about 2 inches worth stitch count, so I add 10 stitches and keep knitting to the other side. There you go. It's not connected yet, so I add 10 stitches as a new cast. That's it. Simple, isn't it? And after you connect both, front and back, just keep knitting until your desired length. That's it. And whenever you hit the desired length, add body rib. That's it. Which is same as your neck. 1x1 ribbon. Right? Well, until your desired length. That's it. And then bind off. Super easy. I'm not going to show you everything because it's already, too simple. There we go. Done. And I already add sleeves as well. There you go. And this side. And first you have to knit up. Okay? And starting from the bottom of the, 10 new cast in the middle. And simple. You have to face on right side and knit 3 stitches up and skip the 1 space. So 3 and skip 1 space and then knit 3 stitches up. And you just have to repeat. Knit 3 stitches up and skip 1 stitch space and all around, and stitch count must be multiple of 2 because you're adding 1x1 ribbon. Okay? Easy. And I believe my stitch count was 72 or 74, something like that. Okay? And again, same as everywhere else, repeat of knit 1 and purl 1 until your desired length and then bind them off. Okay? This was easy project. The one regret for me is I add too many, rows for the, German short row. So the fabrics are a little bundled up. That's all. Yeah, that side. But everything else is beautifully done. I love the shoulder line, slowly declining and very big, stretchy, a little bit buggy, but that's what I wanted, because I'm gonna maybe wear the long sleeve t-shirt and on top of it, I can wear this, right? There you go. Anyway, after this, let's move on to the math part. All right? Okay, so I open up my math gauge template. Um, if you don't have my math gauge template, you have two options. One, you can go to my Buy Me Coffee page to buy this template, which is only around 7 Canadian dollars. Or you can actually do your math by yourself. I include the example math formula in my written pattern, so you can just follow the my instruction. It's just a ratio math. It's simple math. However, if you have to do a lot of the math, sometimes it's kind of pain in neck, right? So if you have this template, it's so simple. You just have to input your number and you just do the simple math. That's it. Okay. Anyway, here I use the upgraded one, and number 4 here, I put my gauge 4" by 4". I have a 20 stitch count in the 4 inches length and 24 rows within 4". Now, I want to actually find out the cast on number. I started with the 121, right? And how did I find out that number? Okay, here, I actually wrote it down already. My actual neck measurement, circumference is 12 inches, okay? But my desired neck opening is 24 inches, double it. And for the neck rib, I use the one size smaller needle, also 1x1 ribbon, which shrinks, right? So, double up would be, better, bigger enough opening. So, 24 design length based on my gauge, then how many stitches you need, right? So, right here, width. Okay, I'm gonna actually put the 24 here because that's the width I want. So enter. There you go. Stitch count 120. So based on your gauge, 24 inches, you need 120 stitches. Let me tell you. So I have 20 stitches within 4". Then how many stitches within 24". That's how I did it. Okay? And then, I'm going to lose 1 stitch. So 120 plus 1 is 121. That's why I made 121 cast. Okay? So that's simple. And now, a German short row, 5 inches. Do you remember? I regret it, but I did it anyway, right? So, and my key German short row key stitch count was 3. And how did I figure it out? Super easy. So I wanted to raise 5 inches behind my back, right? So height, which is rows, right? So I have 24 rows within 4" height. Then what about 5 inches height? So right here, number 7 and 8, well, 8. I'm going to put 5 inch here. So 5 and enter. There you go, 30 rows, which means if I want to have 5 inches height, I have to knit at least 30 rows. Okay? So now, do you remember I was talking about the target stitch count, German short row target stitch count? Okay? So my stitch count was 120. And 120 divided by 6, everybody, 6, okay? Don't ask me why, is 20. And do you remember the front piece, 20 stitches? I'm not going to, add German short row there, right? So 120 minus 20, the front stitch count, is 100. This 100 is the German short row target, right? And I want to go back and forth, at least 30 times. So 100 target divided by 30 rows would be 3.333. So either 3 or 4. So if I actually move, 3 stitches every time, you will actually knit 30 rows. Or, yeah, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more, but okay, close enough, right? So that's how you actually find out. But again, I regret it. I put too much fabric behind my back because this number 3 is maybe too small, or I don't know why. So if I want to, add only 2 inches, this is going to do 2 instead of 5 and enter. So 12 rows. So if I add only 2 inches, I need to knit 12 rows, obviously, because 4 inches, 24, so half, so 12. There we go. So this target number hasn't changed, right? So right here, 30, I gotta change 12. So that will be, let me actually, which is actually less than 10, the 100 divided by, 100 divided by 12 is 8.333. So 8.333. So maybe I should have, move every 8 stitches. I don't know. I have to actually, try. But anyway, if you only raise 2 inches with my gauge and everything, German short row key number was 8. That's actually sounds awesome. But, if it's 100, maybe I could do like this. 10, right? So only 10 rows, which is, 10 stitch movement, the key number. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't understand how you figured it out, I can help you, but I need you to tell me your gauge and your plan. Don't make me make a plan. Well, I will help you, but you have to actually make a plan, need a gauge, and tell me your plan with your gauge. Then I'll discuss with you. Okay? So that's all. All right? So enjoy knitting. That's all I can say. And if you have any question or comment, please leave it down below. Bye for now. Hey yo, welcome to my channel. Here I share step-by-step knitting tutorials that even complete beginners can follow with ease. And the best part, I also offer all the patterns I use. I'm planning to add more tools and self-learning videos in the future, so if you find my content helpful, I'd love your support. Of course, things like likes, subscribing to the channel, and kind comments mean the world to me. And if you like to go a step farther, I've also started a Buy Me a Coffee page where you can support my work through small donations. I'll be sharing or offering for sale some useful knitting tools and patterns. So feel free to check out the link in the description. You can join as a free member too. And by the way, I also have a blog where I talk about my everyday life totally unrelated to knitting. So if you are curious, come hang out there too. Thank you for watching, and let's keep knitting fun and cozy together.